record. All right, hello everybody. This is Damien Cassidis here with an amazing interview today. As I promised to you, I'm going to interview one of my most successful students here. Christopher Smith is on the other line, and on the other end of the line, and he just went from complete newbie of running some page likes when FB Ads Cracked started to right now. I'll let you yourself tell this to my peeps here, but you basically retired in a time frame of how much, Chris?
Basically a year.
A year, right? So, I
A
mean,
little less than a year. Yeah.
and how much did you make from zero to how much did you go from in that year?
$530,000.
So freaking crazy. This is
Pretty
nuts.
sure it's
Okay, so
30.
so this is why I got Chris on this call today here because I want you guys to hear out what he has to say, how he went from zero to what he has done today. I wanted to just do this completely just pure value. There is nothing for sale here. I just wanted to offer some amazing value from the mouth of Chris himself. So I want him to tell you guys how he went from zero to what he has done now, how he went to retire from his amazing. You had an amazing job, right? You were in a veterinarian. That's pretty high
Yeah.
paid as well, right? So it's not that you were struggling there, but you had some other dreams. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna go right into what were the core things you changed that broke you through, and let's give some amazing tips and lessons here to everybody.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Damien.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I've been a veterinarian my whole career. I'm 48 years old and 22 years as a vet, but I always had entrepreneurial dreams during that time. And just like a lot of us, real estate and multi-level marketing and blogging and all these kind of things I've tried over the years, and I've made a little money and lost a lot of money and found myself after some bad real estate transactions, $100,000 in credit card debt and all kinds of mess. But kind of fast forward to last end of last year, I one of my mentors introduced me to the Teespring idea, and then um, had some ups and downs early in the year, but really summertime after really coning in on Damien's course, just focusing, studying, saying I'm going to figure this out. I figured it out, and so most of my revenue of that money came from basically July through the end of the year.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, because
so
really in the beginning when you were in that group, you were asking many questions, you were interested, you were really highly motivated. And I remember you asking me a lot of questions per private messages, and you were kind of not the best one in the group. You were not the one that was making the most amount of money and getting the most results. But then fast forward, as you said, last time I saw this post, like you retired 500,000 applying those techniques, saying thank you to all the people that helped you, and so me included in there. And it was really, I felt honored there, really, to say the least. It really made me happy to see that because I wasn't expecting it. I saw that you were having great results when Tea Profits Recipe launched, but this is just out of my mind now. It's
right.
insane, right? So let's get into this now a little bit on so yeah, you were applying Tea Profits Recipe, and but there are many out there that are applying it right now as well, and not everybody is making 500,000 a year right now and retiring. So what was that main core point, or those main core points that you changed, or those mistakes you were making that you needed to change in order to break through? Um, what happened there? Like basically
Um,
just
I, I think there's probably a couple key factors. One is belief. If you don't believe that you can make that kind of money, then you're not going to make that kind of money. And I don't think I believe that I can make that kind of money, but I thought I could make, okay, can I make $10,000 a month? Can I make $5,000 a month? So you need to get to that stage where you can, whatever you can believe in, you got to grab onto that. And then the next thing is just immersing yourself in the content of the courses that you've taken. So many people buy courses, they don't look at them, or they look at the first 3 videos, and then they go out there and they create all kind of Facebook ads and then spend hundreds of dollars and not get any results, and then quit or think this is saturated or it can't work. And the thing that you got to do is keep looking. Yes, you want to look on Teespring and all Pinterest and everything for ideas, but also look at those success cases as motivation. Because if you think it's saturated and you go on Pinterest or Teespring and look at these running campaigns and people are selling 1,000 shirts still and 300 shirts and 100 shirts, that should motivate you that, damn, people are still making a lot of money in this thing, and there's no reason that I can't figure this out. So I'd say that was one of the things that I kept doing, was looking at those cases as proof that this still works. And then the third thing is dig a little deeper than everybody else. So when you're looking at an idea and it's in, let's say, a huge niche like the fishing niche, it's going to be tough to take an idea that's run and put an ad up and sell that same idea. You got to put a twist on it. You got to tweak it. You got to make a better design or a better phrase or something that's going to resonate with a person better. Because remember, people are making shirts for these for all these big niches over and over again, and if they see the same shirt over and over again, they're not going to buy it. So you want to take an existing idea. Damien teaches, take a scalable idea and then make it better. And it doesn't just mean necessarily graphically better, like a prettier picture, which that can be one thing, but also just a funnier phrase or a little twist that's going to grab somebody's attention. Mm-hmm. So I'd say my breakthrough was those big things, just getting the belief, and just learning also to read Facebook ads, and that takes time. I think in the beginning there were some shirts that I ran that I did fairly well with them, but then I let them peter out and didn't sell. And then as you get better and you learn how to make a campaign last longer and get more sales out of it, that really helps too. And you can keep relaunching and relaunching, and that way you're not having to come up with so many designs all at once.
Yeah. So one of the things, back to sorry for the interruption. Just back to the thing of the belief that you said. First of all, many people out there, they fail a little bit, and then they just make an excuse of an excuse of why they failed and why others are succeeding, and they make that separation that actually becomes a roadblock. It becomes a block in your mind, in your ability to achieve whatever you wanted. So first of all, that when you see something is happening, there are results happening, it means you can too. It doesn't mean that person made it because they have that and they have that. It just proves that it is possible. So make sure that what Chris said here is the foundation of everything you want to do in your life, everything you want to do in business starts with the belief and that focus, that goal that you want to achieve, and then that belief that you are going to make it happen, and you work towards that, and you have that determination to go through the steps, to make the mistakes and apply it again, and don't lose that faith. As Chris said, you go through the course over and over until you have it down to a science. You know everything and you're applying it exactly as it's taught. And now back to the thing you just mentioned when I interrupted you. You said you learned how to identify when a campaign was doing well and when a campaign was doing bad. You before we started recording this, you said something about that you weren't testing with as much money as most of other people were doing, and you still found those winners with a different tweak. Just can you tell a little bit about that there?
Sure. So when I start a campaign, well, when I got started doing this, I had very little free time, and so I kind of flew by the seat of my pants. I didn't know internet marketing. I didn't know internet advertising. I didn't know how to read all the analytics. I could understand. It wasn't too hard to understand what a good ad looks like, or I mean, what a good response looks like. And so I don't have a lot of time to set up, split testing, 15 different ads and that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, especially if it's a new niche, I will make 1 to maybe 2 or 3 ads and kind of put all the age groups together, all the gender together, unless it's a specific gender niche, meaning if it's a crochet niche, I will, target women, obviously, but fishing even men and women are just as passionate. So a lot of times I'll start with 25 to 55 years of age, and then so here was a campaign that did really. This was actually the second group of ads. I probably shouldn't start with this because
Yes, that's
this
fine.
shows a
That goes right
crazy
into what
amount.
we, yeah, it's much easier to over like what you wanted to explain within a clear example. So
But
guys, this is going to be a case study kind of how much did this
yeah,
campaign actually make? How much did this
that one I sold over 3,000 shirts on. So
stick?
um, I think I was priced at. It was making about $16 on average
Wow.
per shirt.
So it was hoodie sales,
Yeah.
or your t-shirt was just one color and you were
It was
selling
a
at
lot.
24.
So, so in the beginning, I'll make ads. This was one that I was testing. I'll make ads, and to me, like this click-through rate of 5 to 7% on an initial ad. These are a couple different interests, and all the people lumped together. That's not good enough. That's not generating enough interest that I would even bother. Well, I shouldn't say that. That I'm not going to spend a lot of money on this. You can see I've spent $5.68, but I'm going to make a judgment that right now my targeting is bad or my design is bad, and then I'll
Mhm.
go up into reports and I will then I'll let Facebook tell me what is working better. I feel like I don't need to split all that stuff out in the beginning.
Mhm.
If a campaign is successful, if it's starting to sell, then I'll start split testing out. But I'll let Facebook tell me for the most part what's working. So I can look at newsfeed and desktop and compare the click-through rate. And again, there's probably not enough data to make big judgments on this here, but of desktop appears to be better than mobile on this one, but there's probably not a. I'd probably need to spend another $5 or $10. But then I'll go to age and gender, and I'll look at the click-through rate, and I'll only use the click-through rate initially until I get some sales. Once I get sales, then I let the sales tell me everything. But this is a way that I can go through really quickly. I can take customized columns and just click on website conversions, click that, and if this one doesn't have any sales, but
Mhm.
um, then I can just zoom over here and it'll tell me my cost per website conversion,
So
and I can look
question
at my demographic.
A question that I get a lot, and I think you can answer that. I've answered that already, but let's just repeat it. How much do you specifically spend? Because we do it with $20, as you just said, open, broad, with that specific demographic that you look into with the audience insights. You narrow it down a little bit, but you still leave it kind of wide open, and then let Facebook tell you what demographics are converting. You're not segmenting right away from the beginning, right? Are you?
Correct. I am not, no.
Exactly. So you
I,
first
I
do the
tried it.
work after it's worth to do the work, right? Like once you know it's gonna give you back something. Uh,
I mean, because even at my level of gross income, I still am only. I'll go through waves. Sometimes 5 out of 10 shirts or 6 out of 10 shirts I run will hit, and then there's other times like I just launched 10 campaigns and only one of them is hitting big. Um, so I'm not gonna. So those nine, if I had to split test all nine of those, now could
Whoa.
I find maybe one or two where maybe if I split tested, maybe I could get it to go, maybe. But I want to spend my time on the winners. I think that also too many people milk a so-so campaign when they could use their time more productively, really focusing on a campaign that might grow bigger.
Hmm.
And I think that was why I was able to achieve the amount of income is I really didn't spend a lot of time nursing campaigns where, gee, if I spend $30 today on this ad as opposed to 20, it's going to go into a negative ROI. Those aren't worth my time. I want to focus on the winners.
Hmm. So you basically, after those 10, you find one and then you put all the effort into that one, segment it out, do split testing if it's needed. You did interest split testing if it was needed, age split testing, demographic split testing, placement split testing, everything once you know that that campaign or that specific campaign is working already on the broad side, right? Once it's broad,
Yeah.
it's working on broad, it's definitely going to work once you narrow down even more, you target even better, and you do more work. So find those winners,
Right.
just kind of to recap so that our listeners here
Yeah.
actually get all the recaps, all the
Yeah.
little golden nuggets. It's you test broad, and then you narrow down and do the work on that. You find that gold that's broad, and then when you narrow down and put all the effort into to increase the target, improve the targeting, to improve the segmentation, to improve this the to find the right demographic and right audience that is converting, then you're going to increase your ROI
Right.
tremendously. All right. So
Right.
what's next?
And
What?
then one last just addendum to that though. Once you learn your niche, start narrow. Start
Mhm.
with the
Exactly.
people that you know are going to buy, because if it doesn't sell to that group, it's not going to sell to the broader group. So everybody looked at Matt Schmidt's seminar and they saw the nurse shirt and they're going to go out and say, I got to do a nurse shirt, I got to do a nurse shirt, but they don't have any idea what the targeting is. So if you're going to go into a niche, learn that niche and make it a focus. So anyway, next thing.
Yes. Perfect. All right. So from here, show me just real quick. So this is from the ad perspective. Now, when you find, you said that you always go into niches or designs that you found have worked, but you make them even a tweak. So let's show one example of that, and then kind of how you target it, how you set up the ad, and so on, so that they can see kind of everything, right? Because
Okay.
everybody wants to know every little step, right? So this one, and let's break it down. Let's
This was
break
one of
this
my
campaign down.
this is one of my top selling shirts. Here was the front. It's a fishing shirt, obviously, and then the back
Yeah,
here.
nice.
All right. So a pretty good graphic. It's not out of this world fantastic, but obviously it's a hilarious
Hmm.
phrase if you know the slang. So this idea I got actually, I think it was off of Zazzle or some page like this. So don't forget about these pages. But it was a terrible setup. It might have looked like this.
Yeah.
Just simple text. You could hardly read it, that kind of thing. So we just made the design better. And then when I launched it to a broad audience, and then once I started really getting sales, then I look at all these ads. This was actually the second round of ads. This is a whole different campaign. The first round had more ads than this. So just for an example, this targeted American Bass Association, this targeted Bass Angler Magazine, and the lure company. So even within these ads, I was lumping some of the interests together.
Uh-huh.
Um, but you can see, so this was, quite a few, because these were small fishing companies, so Z-Man
Mhm.
Fishing Products, Bass Angler Magazine, etc. But that was a broad range. That was 20 to 65, because I had found out earlier on that this shirt was appealing to pretty much the whole age range.
Mhm. So I
Um,
can see that you're kind of testing interests one by one, or like lumping them together if they're too small,
yeah,
or
depending
from
on
the same
size.
category, kind of, right? Um,
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Then I
that
just
in the beginning, when you were running broad, for example, and this is something I've been asked many times as well, is do you put all the best audiences together and then you split them out as you just said, kind of?
um,
You put them all into one group and one ad because
I,
you start
I'd
testing
say it
broad, right?
depends.
Like all together.
Yeah, I'd say it depends on the size of the interest. So some of these only had 10,000 or 5,000 people. So if it's a smaller interest group, but I think it's really targeted, I like to lump them together into maybe a group of at least 50,000 people. If it's an interest that has, above 50,000 or 100,000 people, then I run that by itself.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay,
Um,
so but before you actually started really separating all of these into different assets, which each of them a specific group of
oh, I
interests
see.
and so on, that first ad you run to find this winner was kind of with a few interests all lumped together,
It
and then
was, yeah, a few interests lumped together. Yep.
okay, so just as you said in the beginning, so you start broad, then you kind of segment it down and you narrow down. But then once you found now that you find the interests that are winners, you're going to be using them in your fishing, all other fishing designs again over and
Exactly.
over. Okay, so good recap.
Correct.
And now next one. So we saw the ad, we saw the t-shirt campaign there. You guys have seen the ad copy as well. Uh, you've seen how he does the you've seen how he does. He starts testing again, just to recap this so it sticks in your minds again, because this is important. As he said, you need to go over that content over and over again. So watch this video again. There is a lot of golden nuggets in here. If you have anything else, Chris, to say, yeah, just one. I have a good question here that I found. When you go on Sazzle, or other platforms where you go for to find inspiration, what are the key factors you're looking at in order to find a winner or a possible t-shirt to test out? What is the feeling? What are you looking after?
It's a phrase, really, it's a phrase that makes me say, "Oh my God, that's hilarious," or pulls at your heartstring, and put yourself in your customer's shoes. So if I'm going for a dog shirt, dog people are inundated with shirts that are cute and don't say much. If you can find something that pulls at a customer's heartstrings or makes them really laugh, then that's what you want to look for.
So find
So
emotion, right? Like when it pulls
yeah,
emotion out of
emotion.
them, right? Hmm.
Yep. So you look through some of this stuff, and I'd rather be fishing. Is that gonna catch somebody's attention as they're scrolling through their Facebook news feed? No.
No.
And keep that in mind, that this method of shopping is they're not at a store looking at cool designs. They're scrolling through their news feed, and it's got to jump out at them and grab them and make them click.
Hmm.
So
So yeah, if you were a store, if you were a website with a ton of designs just like Sazzle, it doesn't really matter. You can have everything in there. People will choose the ones they like the most. But if you are about to get a person that his attention is completely focused on socializing, completely focused on wasting time on Facebook, right? So you need to
yeah,
get them out of that state, of that blue Facebook mind state, and get them into what you want them to do, which is buy your t-shirt. So you need to break that pattern. You need to get their attention really strongly. And the only way you can do that is by pushing emotion. And if you can grab their attention. So let's find, can you show your ad image again real quick, right there under your campaign? Um, so that they can see why he's using, look what colors he's using right now in the ad, if you didn't catch this earlier. But right here, look at that. It's red, strong red. The design is made big so that it immediately they can see what it is, what it says, and if it's talking to them. They see the fish, they see the page name is something related to fishing, so it's going to catch their attention right there. Fishing is live. And that is going to it's going to take their attention right away to this. And if they look at it, it pulls some emotion inside of them. The call to action is very strong. Get yours here, boom, and they go right there and they make their impulse decision to buy. It's an impulse buy. So Chris, this is amazing content here. I'm pretty sure people are going to get a great value from seeing this, seeing the process, how you find those good designs, how you structure your testing on to find those winners. And then once you find the winners, anything about scaling? What do you say about scaling? Are you more of
well,
the
I,
conservative scaler, or are you more of a kind of big approach scaler?
I'd say that's changed a little over time. I find that it's harder to scale increasing dollar amounts on an ad. So I scale to other interests, and so I'll double my. So maybe I start out at $10 per ad set or $20. I'll go up to 30 to 40, but then at that point I'll start to create similar ads and put $10 or $20 on those to other interests, or start again segmenting out my age groups and my genders, to try to find a higher ROI. Um, so I'd say that's how I do it now, and
Instead
I've
of
been more
scaling up,
consistent.
going nuts, and going
Yeah,
like starting to spend a lot of money into one campaign, which many of us have seen that actually starts dropping your ROI. It starts making
right.
your campaign go into negative, and many times into, yeah, it's very positive ROI. Then it goes into break even and suddenly into negative. So, and that's when you scale too big. So. definitely a good approach to start scaling out into different ads within that same ad set, or specific different ad sets with different targeting to the same kind of overall market audience that you're going after. So I think that this is pretty much it. We've been here, I think, over 20 minutes, a little bit already, and I appreciate all your or your time and effort here to actually share this amazing content with our people here, Chris. And definitely let's keep rocking this. And I wish you like you go now, you build $1 million business or something. What's the next step there before we sign off?
Sounds good. I just, I've had some time off now, and I'm kind of getting re-engaged and making my plans for the year. So I appreciate it, Damien, and just keep learning, guys. Don't give up. Keep learning. There's you'll get a breakthrough. Just keep learning.
Nice. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.